Hello everyone, welcome to Southern Wreaths. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Today I'm going to make this really cute Happy Easter wreath. These are the supplies I'm going to use to make this wreath. With this particular wreath, I decided to use scraps, mainly because I really wanted to use the teal aqua bluish greenish mesh that I have, and I only had pieces of it left. I'm going to start by adding pipe cleaners to my frame. This is a 14-inch wire frame. I get them from Dollar Tree. I like to add a pipe cleaner to each center crossbar. And then on the outside, I'll just pick a random crossbar to start. I'll twist 3 times. I'll lay the pipe cleaner along the frame. Where it ends is where I add my next pipe cleaner. I end up with 14 ties. Okay, so I did have to piece this wreath together. I did not have enough of this color mesh to do the entire wreath. And at first I was like thinking that it wasn't going to look good. I absolutely love the way it turned out in the end. The ribbon tied everything together. So just bear with me at first. This wreath looks really weird. Each section that I do, I'm going to add a zip tie to attach it to the frame. And then I'll just trim the zip tie away and then clean up the mesh with my scissors. And I do have to do this a couple times. I believe I use all of the mesh that you see here, and it's 3 different pieces. 2 of them are on a roll and 1 of them is just a large piece. I'm still doing my usual 12-inch poofs, but if you were worried, you could also do 10-inch poofs. It doesn't make that big of a difference with the finished product. And I'm just using my mat to measure it. I will say working with the last little pieces of rolls of mesh are a lot harder because they're super curled and they just want to stay in that curl. So I did fight with it a little bit, but it was worth it. I really love the color of this mesh. I bought a lot of it at AC Moore before they closed, and I cannot find it anywhere else. I cannot find this color anywhere. So if you know where I can find this color mesh, please leave it in the comments below, because I really, really love this color. It was a really big seller of mine for Easter last year. And here I'm adding all of the mesh together, the end of one mesh and the beginning of the next, just to save a zip tie. It's not necessary. And see, I only had enough to do the outside ring, so I decided to do white on the inside. And I'm using my sign as inspiration. The sign itself is purple, but it has this green color in it. And it also has some pink in it. And white, of course. And this was also a piece of scrap that I had left over. It wasn't quite half of a roll. It was a little bit less than half. And I'm doing the same thing. I attach it and then do 12-inch poofs. And then at the end, I do the same thing. Attach it, trim away. And then I had this half a piece of purple mesh, and I love this purple mesh. I used it for the Valentine's Day Conversation Hearts wreath that I made, and I had some left over. And I only had enough to do half of the wreath. So I cut enough to do the outside, so that would have been 8 pieces. And then I had this 5-inch white mesh that I never use. It's 5 or 6 inch, or maybe 5.5. But I decided to use it to make some of my ruffles too. I'm cutting everything at 20 inches. I'm going to do purple on the center because I thought the purple looked good on the white. And I didn't want the white on top of the white either. So I'm sorry, I did 6 of the purple and then 8 of the white. Which 8 of the white would have been 16 total pieces of the white mesh. I like to put something heavy on it and ruffle my hands. Ruffle the mesh with my hands. And then I'll open the tie and add the ruffle in, and I try to get it as centered as possible. I only twist once, and then I'll just fluff the mesh around to make like a circle. To do the 6-inch or 5-inch or 5.5 inch, whatever size mesh you have, if you want to do big ruffles, you just overlap them about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. And I still put something heavy on it, and I start gathering it together. If you see right there that your mesh wants to kind of do its own thing, you just flatten it back out again and keep going. It's a great way to use up any of your 6-inch mesh that you have. And see, still right now, you can see the wreath. It looks really weird. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do if this doesn't look right. But thankfully, in the end, it was one of my favorite wreaths that I've made for Easter. And it was nice to get to use up a lot of scraps. I don't like wasting anything. And here I'll show you again. You overlap it. And I like to add something heavy. And then I like to curl it under because sometimes it might not be even. Which if you cut them together, they're usually the exact same size. And then I just add it the same way I do any other ruffle. You want to make sure you get that centered as good as possible because you have 2 pieces of mesh that are being held together by the pipe cleaner. So I have this really pretty ribbon left over. I thought I was going to use that striped white and pink ribbon up there, but I only had like 3 or 4 pieces of it, so I decided not to use that. But I am using the purple sheer, the pink burlap. There's a solid, it's about a 1.5 inch teal, like the same color as what I'm cutting right here. And then this ribbon. I'm still alternating the ribbons like I normally do on a wreath. I didn't do like certain colors on the inside, certain colors on the outside. So I'm doing the pink with the purple and then the 2 teal colors together. I like to fold them in half to find the center, and where it's creased, I pinch it together. I add it into the pipe cleaner as close to the center as I possibly can, twist it 3 times, and then roll it down with something like a glue stick or a pin. And then I like to fluff my ribbon. It's hard to see in the video because the purple kind of disappears on the wreath, but it added a lot of shine to the wreath that the other ribbons didn't have. And I'll keep adding the ribbons the same way all the way around the wreath. I do something different on the outside than the inside. The inside I make X's. For the outside, I like to make it looks like a bow tie or a butterfly. The 2 top ribbons, when I spread them across, they go straight, and then the 2 tails come down. So it's kind of like a bow. And I'll try my best to show you here. It's hard to see. See, that one ribbon is going straight across, and then these are coming down. This sign is so cute. It has little ears on it that are flopped down, and they're metal, and they stick out from the sign. I picked this up at Walmart last year when their Easter was, I think it was like 75% off. Now I'm messing up here by stapling first. I should have added some cushion because the staples did go through. So I'm just using a tag from the wreath frame, and going to use that as a cushion. It wasn't quite enough to cushion it all the way. Luckily, it didn't really go through a lot, but it was enough for my next one for me to fold it 3 times instead of 2. And then I just like to twist the pipe cleaners together. You don't have to do that. And I'm adding pipe cleaners to the top and the bottom. You can see here where the Happy Easter has that teal color around the edges. It's really pretty. And I'm just going to feed the pipe cleaners to the back and wrap them around the wire frame. And I'm going to do that up for all 4 corners. If anyone's interested in following me on social media, you can find me on Instagram at Southern Wreaths More, on Facebook at Southern Wreaths, and I also have a Facebook group called Southern Wreaths and More. I would love to see any of the wreaths you've made, especially if you do any based on my videos. That would be amazing. I also have all of these links in the description below. That's it. That's how I made my Happy Easter purple wreath with the beautiful teal color. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. Thanks so much for watching. And if y'all learned anything today or liked my video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.